If you wake up and see it's 2050, what are you checking first? Honestly, it would be extremely difficult for me to go on, for me to feel the same way I do today, effectively tomorrow for me, but for my loved ones to have had 26 years of acceptance, grief, and moving on would be such a challenge. 1. How many times Bethesda refreshed Skyrim and sold it as no after anniversary edition? Point 2. Did TES 6 come out? If so, was it good or bad? 3. If it came out, how many editions of the game did Bethesda release? ID drink some water, and then check news whatever medium possible. Check summarize me last 26 years. My bet is average people will be wearing stupid VR glasses and even dumber and unhappier than today. Well, I'd be 51. And if that actually happened, I'd feel like I wasted my whole life. If I awoke in 2050, my parents would likely be dead too, since they're currently in their mid-late 60s now. 1. Go search the entire history of the world from 2024 to 2052. Look at what stocks rose the most between 2024 and 2050. Point 3. Look up what happened to all of my family members and friends. A current map of the world. Have any major borders changed? Any new countries created? Ideally, also a map with population densities to see if there's been any major population movements. 1. Whether the people I loved cared about yesterday, 2024, are still alive, and if so, how they are doing too. Everything else that's changed drastically since yesterday. Turn on the news to see which liberal failed idea the media is blaming on Trump. Then go back to sleep hoping common sense was common once again. For some reason I always told myself that if SNTH like this happens, it'll Google who's the president of the United States. I'm not even American. For my doctor that studies the brain, because my immediate thoughts would be I had a stroke or an aneurysm that caused major memory loss. Who's president? Do I have any money? Is it safe to go outside? Are there any cool future cars? What's the state of cell phone technology? I'm checking whether I shit myself. I mean, I've been sleeping for 26 years, right? That's a long time to hold it in. Defiantly, whatever woke me up, 26 years and nothing before, must be something very important or very annoying. If you woke up and saw that it was 2050, I would assume you checked the date first. But I could be tripping. I'd check my face in the mirror. Did I sleep through all those years or did I time jump? This is important. Amazed that humanity has survived. I would check my long-term investments. Probably rich AQF by then. Am I 25 years older or the same age? Like, am I some thin husk that was in a coma for that long? I'd check if I can become a Von Neumann probe and fuck around in space with my clones. Like Bob. My bank. Edit damn thanks for the upvotes, guys. Plus DM me to transfer the upvotes fee. My kids. I'd be checking on my kids. 26 years is a long time waiting for someone to wake up. Where the bathroom is. I'm sure I'm going to have a massive was after sleeping for 26 years. My crypto and bank account. And after that I'm getting a newspaper to verify the date law. I will at least snooze a couple of times. You can't just wake up after such a long nap to see if the Statue of Liberty was sticking halfway out of the beach. Damn you, damn you. Checking on my son. He'd be 26 years old, and I would have missed his entire childhood. He'll probably be underwater, or close above it if the sea levels keep rising like this. Laws. Incredibly important I don't break a new weird law and spend years in prison. Google to see what number of now that what I call music we're up to now. Heh, I'd Google things you wouldn't believe were considered okay to say 30 years ago. Me son. And then I cry because of the 26 years I've lost with him. Now an adult. Start catching up on The Simpsons and Law Order cause they'd still be running. My bank account. I'm supposed to be little less poor if I wake up 30 years after. Quota levels ... Edit can't believe I might be the first to say this. Come on folks. My senses sense of taste. Smell. Sight. I'll be checking on myself first. Check to see if Norwich City ever won a Premier League title or FA Cup. Average annual Earth temp and whether we have hit net zero emissions. Look up the temperature of Antarctica. followed by global population. What time is it? I would go back to sleep if it was before 8 a.m. Now, opening the door and seeing what kind of new hell I've woken up to. How such my SS check is and Donald Trump Gravecourt Golder showered. Will go back to sleep and hope that it will be 2018 when I wake up. My crypto wallet. Whether have my portfolio reached the moon? If the Detroit Lions won the Super Bowl, I won one before I die. My pulse and my wallet must have been the best trip of my life. To make sure my clock is okay, I don't usually wake up at 8:50 p.m. Checking to see if Fortnite is still around along with the Xbox. Check and see if we finally invented a fucking hoverboard yet. My parents, because there's a good chance they won't be around. Did the Mets win a World Series? No. Back to the cryo tube. My prostate. I would be way overdue for that initial checkup. My Fidelity account and HISA. I should be rich at that point. Seeing where my wife is, also instantly mourning my two dogs. If my fucking tomato plant grew. It's been 6 fucking months. My bank account, if it's still at 0. Lemma go back to sleep. Checking if Scotland has finally regained its independence. I look up at the sky to see if the flying cars are moving. And checking my heartbeat because I'll be 99 years old. I check to see if Keith Richards is still alive well. Is Bruto's Sun series out? No. It's his grandson's. If my mama is still alive where she is, she would be 99. Checking to see if I made it through medical school. How many more Super Bowls did Patrick Mahomes win? If Nintendo has discounted any of the Switch games. Oh my god, do you know how much email I'll need to delete? To see if we live in a dystopian society ran by. How many of my favorite YouTubers are still alive? My bank account to see how much my 4K debt grew.